Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is Also Podcast Summer House Edition, Season 10, Episode 16. We finally made it to the end. Also, in the intro, I almost said, my name's Meredith, which wouldn't have been true. Just so everyone knows.
I don't think I would have noticed, and I would have been like, and I'm Meredith.
If I do it one day, you have to just respond with Alicia. Like, we just have to keep going.
I'm so concerned about getting my name right, I would not think about if you got yours.
We have to go with the bit. Okay, the season finale. It's the end. It was a lackluster season because we found out about
the scandal. I disagree. I feel like the season was good. I think it was just tarnished.
It was a good season. It was tarnished. It could have been incredible.
A great season.
Yeah. Okay, before we get into the episode, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Patreon. All the links are in our description, and please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. Okay, before I say previously on, can I tell you, I watched this episode for the first time at Soft Bar.
You went to the live, was it the live party? How was that? I
have notes for Carl. Overall, a lovely bar. I will say, very expensive for fruit juice. I will not be going back unless I'm going to the cafe, I think. Because I bought three drinks that were titled, Don't Activate Me or something like that, or Activated or something. I got 3 of those for me and my 2 friends. $61 hit my account.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't even filled the whole way. It was one of those drinks with a giant ice cube and a big glass, and then it just like is filled half. I don't want to talk about that.
It's like
anyway,
4 sips.
Anyway, we made a Resi, which was surprised. We were like, we didn't know like Resis would be available, but like, okay, for 7:45, episode for us airs at 8.
Yeah.
We get there at like 7:45 because we're like, there must be a table stand. Nope. First come, first serve, which we didn't know about. Yeah, we had a full ass Resi and we walked in and no one cared.
Why have a reservation? That pisses me off. Like, turn it off.
Turn it off.
For the watch party or whatever event you're throwing, people are not going to get assigned seats.
Or else we would have gotten there earlier. Then, these are all the bad things. I'm just and then I'll list good things. But we sat on the stairs in Soft Bar because there's only one TV, and I think it's as big as the one I have in my apartment. So it wasn't very big. Sound system, pretty good, though. You could hear everything. So we're like on the stairs, like watching. I don't know what bootleg link Carl gave his employees, but they could not get, thank God we showed up early because they could not get this link to work. They couldn't get the sound to play from the link. There was a lag. They were like, what do we do? Oh my God. I felt bad for the 3 girls in charge.
They were playing his screener?
I don't know what the fuck it was.
If it's a link, then yeah.
It looked like a YouTube link. It looked like YouTube.
Interesting.
And then, the TV was kind of small. They got it to work. That was fine. There was also a host, which, like, I get you have to have a host, but my thought immediately is, like, Carl, I could just be your host. This girl was, like, not very, no offense to her, but she was just like, okay, everyone, like, who has heard of any new Bravo news that we can talk about? Summer House edition. And, like, that's how she started. And then someone would be like, oh, the reunion trailer, and she'd be like, oh, crazy. Yeah, what was everyone, like, she was, like, raising hands and, like, picking on people to talk, and it was, like, so weird. Yeah, Meredith has a stupid face on. Yeah.
I get asking the crowd for some of their thoughts, but you should start with, like, did anybody see this week?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Anything else that, like, sparked everybody? Like, you're the one who's supposed to lead it. You shouldn't, like, asking a student to teach a class.
Yeah. So, Carl, I do live in Brooklyn. Like, you could just hire me. I'll do it. I will say, though, the drinks, delicious. Oh, this was my other note. The second, so we did a cherry drink, which was activated. And then the second drink was, like, the spicy tahini drink. This was weird. The tahini on the outside of the cup, but, like, fully down. So if you, like, on half of it. So, like, I kept getting tahini on my hands. And then we know with like milkshakes too, and it's like if I can't pick up my glass without getting so messy, we've got problems. And the whole point of a salted or flavored rim is to get it while you're drinking it. I don't want to have to lick the side of my glass to get the flavors. Well, we didn't have a table. We were sitting on stairs, so I'm holding it.
No.
But they did have Summer House Bingo, which it wasn't very hard to win at. And then if you won, you got a free cherry shot in this
That's
this
funny.
shot ski. So we did that. So that was fun.
Okay.
Overall, though, the aesthetic is very nice and the vibes are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like they're doing the reunion. They're doing like a watch party. I will not be back.
They need like a projector for moments like that.
That's it. They just like, if they could project it, or if they could have multiple TVs so we're not all, because it's all the way in the end and softball is like long.
But I understand, like, their vibe isn't really like sports bar. Like, it's very much a mindfulness thing. So they probably want conversations
If
going
Carl had
rather
done
than
sober
TV.
sports bar.
So I understand. So, like, I understand not permanently having 7 TVs around. But I think a projector, because those are massive too, could help for whatever side doesn't have the TV.
Because there were definitely people that got a table on the other side, but definitely couldn't see the TV.
That would
so I don't know what they
off.
were doing. They were probably watching it like on their phones. I don't know. But yeah, so I went to soft bar. I did it.
Very fun.
I saw Lindsay's bear is still there, which
cute.
That's all that matters.
Good.
It was good. Okay, but now let's get into the episode. So previously on Summer House, Ben wanted to fuck Amanda. Carl and Lindsay worked on a friendlier relationship with each other, but not with Sharon. Wes and Ciara went back to flirting, and now they're friends/flirty friends, but they've had no discussion. Kyle and Amanda are still on the rocks after 10 years, but now it's because Kyle is a DJ and keeps partying. The house thinks Amanda and Kyle should separate, and Kyle lost his mind and fought Carl because Carl and Kyle also have some tension. That was the season. What do you think?
Lots of tension.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're at our après ski party. There's no time given at the beginning. They're all in jackets. It must be so hot. That was the other thing in soft bar. It was so hot. We were sweating our asses off.
Yeah, but aren't you guys under like a heat wave right now?
Yeah, but like it was really hot. And it was like the same temperature inside as outside. No air movement. And then we're watching these people in jackets on a hot summer day. And I was like, this has got to be killing someone.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ciara and Kyle go to chat. Ciara has screamed party this summer, okay? She likes to go out now with certain people. She's just finding her way. But then she's like, enough about me, Kyle. Let's talk about this separation comment.
Okay, really quick before we do get to Kyle. Alicia, you asked for people to party. How do you feel about the partying this season?
You know what? The back end, they really stepped it up. I love them partying. I wish there was less marriage drama happening because I feel like then we would have had more drunk eating.
Understand.
You know, that was my only complaint is like now the marriage drama is like sucking the soul out of everyone.
Yeah.
Because Kyle's not the muffin man.
Does.
I was telling my one friend who just started watching because of the scandal and now she's starting from the beginning. I was like, there's one scene where Kyle becomes the muffin man and it literally is my favorite.
We have also passed that around here in Chicago. There's a video online that's easy to show people who will never get involved, but everybody needs to know the muffin man.
When he goes, oh no, I'm the muffin man.
Yeah. The best is that he starts and he's like, who eats muffins?
Who eats 4 muffins? And then he eats them all. Oh no. Oh, I loved it. Anyway, so Kyle's really hurt. He's scared for his future. Ciara hears him, but Kyle doesn't feel like anyone does hear him, even though Ciara's sitting here saying, I do. But he just doesn't know how to explain it anymore. And Ciara's like, well, yeah, because you don't express yourself well. Kyle says he's being blown apart at the seams, and Ciara tells him, like, she gets it. But he can't lash out and go to his best friend and say, fuck you to people, because that, like, creates irreparable damage because his words hold weight and people get caught in his crossfires. It makes it hard to be Kyle's friend. And Ciara's just concerned because everyone's trying to support them. And all anyone wants is for Kyle and Amanda to be happy. Whether that means stay together forever, whether that means separate a little bit, whether that means divorce. Like, no one's rooting for them to divorce, but everyone's rooting for their happiness. They just have to be productive. Kyle understands that. He apologizes.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think Ciara sees the most of their relationship, and I think despite being the most involved, has given the best advice in trying to usher them into changing at least something, because clearly what they're doing is not working. And I do like that Ciara holds him accountable in this conversation, that you can't like yell fuck you to your wife. You shouldn't be screaming at your best friend, but that she does see that he is struggling too.
Yeah, and she says if she didn't care, she wouldn't say anything. And she tells him, like, you gotta find Amanda and apologize for last night, and then you can start dealing with your other issues. But that's, like, priority 1.
I don't know what he, like, is gonna apologize for at this point, because we've seen him apologized twice. Amanda was not receptive to it. So at this point, I feel like the ball is in Amanda's court to want to talk, for him to give a bigger apology. But I think they need to have a conversation about where both of their feelings sit before they could, or he could, apologize.
I think that's the thing is, okay, everyone, and I do think it's somehow on Kyle, right, to like fix this mess. But he did apologize. Amanda wasn't receptive. Then he, this morning, apologized for going out and existing, basically. And Amanda's like, that's not what you should apologize for. And then she told everyone Kyle didn't apologize for last night, even though he tried to. And it wasn't the most heartwarming apology,
Correct.
But like he tried to. And she said, that's not what I'm mad about. So he has no idea what to apologize for.
Yeah.
He just knows he wants it better. It's not funny, but this is kind of funny.
He's like walking on eggshells, and I get that she doesn't want to talk. She is doing what she did at his birthday, where she's like, I want to get through the party. I want to enjoy my life. And that's fine. But I think you've got to tell him that, because he's going to keep trying, and you're keeping the wall up. And so like he should just not try, because it's actually pissing you off more.
Yes, he should probably just get lost for a long time. Okay, so then Lindsay goes up to Carl. This is my favorite. Goes up to Carl and is like, hey, can we have a chat really quick? And they go into the igloo that Kyle and Carl built. So Lindsay says she buried a lot of things down after their breakup. And then she saw Sharon at Soft Bar, and that chat that she had with Sharon brought a lot to the surface. And Lindsay's realizing maybe she does need closure, right? And she says she can't leave it up to Carl because he like faints around her. Never forget when he fainted the day before he was going to propose. So,
oh my God.
That was all just to us. She was like, I have to do this. So now she sits down with Carl, and she starts off by saying like the last few days have brought up a lot of emotions for her, not about the relationship, but about their friendship. And Carl thanks Lindsay for helping with the Kyle situation last night. And Lindsay's like, yeah, in that moment, I figured like my voice would trigger something for you.
No. I mean,
and I was like, yeah.
That's on 10 years of friendship. No matter how much you've gone through, the people you've known for years like affect you in a different way.
Also, like, if anything, that's going to trigger Carl out of fighting with Kyle and realizing, oh shit, Lindsay's really close to me. What do I do? I might faint.
The fight or flight moving from Carl and Kyle's fight to Carl and like maybe being scared of Lindsay could just solve
that's real. Yeah. And it worked. But yeah, Carl's like, it did trigger something for me. The three of us have been through a lot together. I think that's the other thing is like, if, example, Bailey or Levi had been like, Carl, stop. He would have been like, you don't get it. But Lindsay being like,
get it.
I get it, you know?
Yeah.
Lindsay then brings up Sharon, and that Sharon asked for a bunch of hugs at Soft Bar.
Too much for her.
And asked about Gemma, right? And Lindsay just says she was uncomfortable and rattled by it because she hasn't spoken to Sharon since the breakup. And Lindsay felt like Sharon was really glossing over everything. And Carl's like, yeah, that is confusing. I acknowledge that.
I appreciate him understanding Lindsay's point of view here. I think that is key for them having a pathway to friendship, because Sharon was weird. Like, I need everybody to acknowledge that. She's allowed to be weird. That's, you know what?
That's Sharon,
the joy of human interactions. But it was weird to ask about Gemma.
No, I agree. And I think it's really easy if someone's like, your mom like came at me, to really be like, don't talk about my mom.
Defensive, yeah.
Yeah, but Carl's like, no, I get it. And Carl says his mother probably didn't clock it as such, that it was 100%. Weird. And Lindsay says that's kind of the problem. No one's clocking anything. And she says she didn't hear from Sharon until after a month after the breakup. And then 2 months later, because, you know, if you forget, they were going to get married in Mexico, and then Carl broke it off, and they like a lot of people couldn't get their money back.
The fact that he broke it off like 5 days after the final like allotment for cancellation was honestly so funny at the time.
So a lot of people still went to Mexico. I would have went to Mexico. And Sharon was there dancing with none other than Sheena Shea.
Always at the center of the drama.
Someone check in on Sheena. She's in the finale. Didn't I call it last week? I said I need Sheena to be the bridge. She may not be, but she's still mentioned.
Listen, I bet she talked about it on her podcast.
We're talking about it. I love Sheena. Anyway, so yeah, that was hurtful to Lindsay. And she says part of her she wanted Carl to be the one to like talk to her about everything since he's the one that broke up with her, but he never did. Right? So it's 9:08 p.m. and Lindsay says she was shattered when everything was broken off, and she was heartbroken that her best friend of 8 years treated her like that because she thought their friendship was beyond TV, right? Like, they were best friends, and Carl broke up with her on TV. And, like, I know there's a lot of speculation, I think, still on, like, how it happened, but basically, from Lindsay's point of view, is she got a text that they were filming. She didn't know they were supposed to film the next day. She texted Carl. Carl had no idea what was going to happen. And then cameras show up and Carl dumps her. You know, like, it looks like Carl did it for TV, even though he says he really didn't know what he was going to say in that conversation, which, fine,
she gets
fair.
her perception. That's how it felt to her, is that Carl disregarded their 8 years of friendship and put the TV show ahead of their relationship, both friendship and romantic. And I understand that. I think this is the first time Lindsay's being very vulnerable about this experience and not so much on the defense and like having her guard up. Because I think a lot of people's interaction, like the audience, if you dislike Lindsay, I think her having such a strong wall up and like hiding her emotions is what makes people not really connect with her. And so this is a moment where she's really letting her guard down and saying, this really did hurt me. Like, our friendship meant a lot to me, and I thought it meant a lot to you. And I think it did mean a lot to Carl. He just handled it incorrectly.
Agreed.
Well, let me asterisk that. He handled it incorrectly for their friendship. He handled it beautifully for me as an audience member.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I do have to praise him as someone who watches this show. Thank you for putting this on camera.
It was lovely. Yes.
It was
She
great
just
to
thought,
watch.
yeah, as a friend, Lindsay thought Carl would have said something before.
That
like,
is
hey,
like the text to him, he like didn't allude to anything. And I do think he walked in there not really knowing what that conversation was going to be like, but leaning on the side of like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, but he could have texted and been like, I just think there's a lot to talk about regarding our relationship and the wedding.
And I think he should have, even if he knew he wanted to break it off, say that they should just postpone it on the show. And then behind the scenes, you have a conversation that says, this is more than a postponement. I'm not doing
TV, you know?
Yeah, you can have both.
But Carl says he understands Lindsay and that it hurt him that she looked at it like that, and he is really sorry. And he's enjoyed this summer laughing with Lindsay, and it made him think about old times. And then he tears up, and he says he's had so many fun and good memories with Lindsay, and he didn't handle that situation well at all. And she's the last person he should have done that to. And he acknowledges, like, Lindsay helped him a lot in life, especially, like, when his brother passed. Lindsay was the first person he told. And he wouldn't be where he is today without her and her guidance during a difficult time in his life. And he says Lindsay made him a better person. And Carl's glad Lindsay told him and talked to him, and he's learned a lot. And he says, thank you, and I'm sorry. And this was just the best thing.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
Acknowledging all the things they've gone through, I think hopefully shows Lindsay that he does see her. And even though one moment, and it was a big moment, you know, was a huge fracture in their friendship, and I mean, kind of did end it, he doesn't look negatively on the holistic part of it. Like, they did have a beautiful time, even if they never be, like, even if they're never best friends again, it's like, this was a beautiful thing, and thank you.
Yeah, and Carl just did a great job of, like, listening to Lindsay, right? Because he can't say, he at this point, it's been 2 years, you can't, like, defend just she's telling you she's hurt. Again, it's the first time Lindsay, like, really hasn't led with anger, and she's really shown her vulnerability. And he said, like, I understand, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, and thank you for talking to me. Like, he was perfect. I have no notes.
I know. And I think a lot of it is also due to his own journey. Like,
I agree.
He is heavily involved in therapy and, like, bettering himself. And I think this is a huge step for him to have someone confront him with something, him acknowledge, own up to, you know, hear someone fully and kind of walk through that conflict in a much more peaceful setting, because obviously his conflict with Kyle this summer has been a much more explosive type. And so I think this helps, you know, Carl even on his future journeys with conflict resolution too.
It was so good. Anyway, let's go back to the party. Kyle goes up to Amanda and he says, "Hey, Amanda, I want to introduce you to somebody." And she goes, "No, I'm good."
I was like, whoa.
She was really bitchy to him. I get it. He said "fuck you" to her. I get that. But this was like really, she was like extraordinarily like bitchy to her.
Yes. I can see all summer how she has just shot him down. She will not answer him. She will not hang out with him. I can't imagine living with someone both in my own residence and then at this summer house 7 days a week. And they just really won't acknowledge my presence, shoot me down anytime I like say anything to them. That's so
also,
grating.
Like, we all sometimes have to do shit we did, like that. Yeah, you might think like Kyle should be the one to approach, but like, does Amanda want to live like this too? Like, just go up to Kyle and be like, "Let's squash this." The way Lindsay just went up to Kyle and said, like, "Listen, I thought you would have done this, but you didn't, so let's do this."
If you're choosing to put that wall up and fake it till you make it, I'm sorry, then do a better job. Like, you are making this awkward for every person that has to watch your interactions with your husband.
Just pretend you're married, okay?
Just
like, pretend for a second.
For 5 minutes. Because what if that was a person you didn't enjoy talking to? Like, who's the person he wants to talk to you with?
The person's right next to Kyle, and she goes, "No, I'm good." And the person's like, "Oh.
What the fuck?"
Well, fuck you then. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Amanda doesn't want to ignore her issues with Kyle, but she doesn't feel like arguing. And she says the fighting is always the same. The only thing that's changed is Amanda's reaction. And I said, sure, but it still really hasn't changed that much because you're still with him at this point. Until they announce the divorce, 0% of me can feel bad.
Or have
in this timeline,
really raw, honest conversation.
Anything.
I feel like we're constantly having issues. Kyle builds up all this tension and like is so frustrated he bursts. Amanda gets pissed. Amanda doesn't actually talk to him about it. We don't resolve anything, and then we just start the loop over again where we just build and build and build.
They show up next summer and they're fine. So
yes, it's like there's no desire for actual resolution. And I think people get so used to their cycles that does become comfortable. And so breaking out of the cycle becomes very uncomfortable. And so I don't think either of these people actually want to break out of it. So I have thought a lot about what their therapy sessions look like, because I can't imagine being their couples therapist.
I haven't, because I don't care about them. At this point, I don't care about them together.
They're losers. Just talk to each other.
They're literal losers. But you know what, Meredith? We have to talk about something that neither one of us are going to want to talk about, but it's very important.
Oh, I know exactly where we're going.
Ben told Sabrina that he loves her.
The fact that it was a flashback, we got it because Sabrina told Ciara, she was like, "You're the first person I wanted to tell." No.
Sabrina, Meredith, when this happened at Soft Bar, and we see the scene of Ben going, "Sabrina Bell, I love you." All of Soft Bar went, "Oh, yeah." Like, everyone was like, God. Ew. It's so funny.
It was just a weird place to say, you haven't said "I love you" in 15 years, and you're going to say it out back at the summer house, sitting on the outdoor furniture couches while everybody's setting up for this party. That's when you're going to tell this girl you love her. She's been begging for it for months.
She's a crazy-ass choker on. She always has
get at her for her fashion.
I hate her chokers.
She's weird.
No, but I have to put in the choker really sends me.
I just don't get them as a couple.
I loved Sabrina saying as soon as he said it, she thought of Ciara.
Weird. That's the person. You just met Ciara. I understand having like a close connection very quickly off the bat. Totally understand at the party how you're like, "Oh my God, I've been dying to tell you because we're fast friends." But she's the first person. You should just go date Ciara.
Oh, it's so good. Sabrina says Ciara is the biggest blessing in her life, and the minute she met Ciara, she felt safe. And Ciara says Sabrina has taught her to be unapologetic with her feelings and wear her heart on her sleeve, and it's 10 times more rewarding to have loved and to have lost. This is some deep-ass friendship I just don't get.
I don't get. How many times do you think they've hung out?
Well, if they met 2 weeks ago, I think Sabrina's at Ciara's doorstep for 14 days.
Yeah. Actually, she sleeps in bed with her now.
She basically, she's like it. But that's why Ben is now saying "I love you" is because he's losing Sabrina to Ciara, that he has to pull her back.
I was about to say, the like, "Oh my God, she's obsessed with me" tension and like scariness is now off of him because she's obsessed with Ciara now. We know the housewarming party. We know the soft bar launch. She's been to one other weekend, and obviously she's here this weekend.
After soft bar.
They did drinks, you're right. So we're up to 5, I'll call it events. 2 of those are weekends. So a decent amount of time, but still, Alicia, this is weird. This is so fast.
Listen, I think also it's just like how deep Sabrina is, because Meredith, if you looked at me, you're like, you're the biggest blessing in my life. And I was like, me? In your whole life? That's nice. But
it just comes
you can say you're
me.
honored to be friends with, but like
your
I don't
whole
know.
life? I hate when people make such drastic statements like that. Like,
I know
this
you
is
do.
the best weekend of my life, or this is my favorite thing. And it's like, okay, no, you have 800 favorite people. And I just find it so fake.
Also, what do Sabrina and Ciara talk about? That Ciara's like, you taught me that to have loved and to have lost is better than to have never loved at all. And I'm like, are we talking about West? Because Sabrina's setting you up for heartbreak.
True.
Even without the Amanda shit, I can tell you Wes is not going to commit to this girl
100%.
ever, okay? That's why
That's the thing. The biggest thing, even when we were all shipping them, is they were going to be in another situationship.
Yeah.
That's what we were dreaming for that girl.
Yeah. Sorry. That's our bad,
so
for sure.
Yeah.
That's our bad, for sure. But, like, if we really would have analyzed, I think we knew they weren't together by the time this was airing.
I was hoping they were hooking up.
Okay, sure. But I think, I think if they seriously, started really hanging out, then we'd be like, he better commit to her, but it seemed like fun. But Sabrina's over here like, you could have a love like I have, too, where he tells you, I love you after breaking up with you because he's scared to love you.
You're so right. You're so right. Sabrina's like, I can make whatever I just did with Ben happen for you guys.
She's a witch. And she's like, I can do
and it's
it.
Like, no, people don't dream of that.
No, we got to get out. So then Wes and Ben talk. And Wes, you know what? For once, Wes has got his head screwed on straight because he goes,
broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, this is time.
And this is it.
Wes says, hey, Ben, if Ciara and I are together and Sabrina's there, can you tell Sabrina to not make it weird? Like, Ciara and I are dating? Because Wes is like, we are a lot of steps away from dating. If Sabrina
100%.
remembers, about a week ago, Wes and Ciara weren't even speaking.
We're friends.
Please stop your girl, Ben. Make her chill.
I like that Wes is going to Ben saying, can you step in? Because, I'm not going to tell your girlfriend to, shut the fuck up. That is inappropriate. But you need to rein your girlfriend in. You need to be having those conversations with her.
Grab her by that choker and tell her to cut it out.
Maybe not that.
But Ben gets it. Ben's like, yeah, okay. And Wes is like, look, Ciara and I have always liked each other. But Wes is aware he can't casually date Ciara, right? And they have natural chemistry and they're very flirty and there's sexual tension. But Wes cannot portray himself like a boyfriend. And 2 years ago, he couldn't say that. But now he's saying, look, I know I shouldn't casually date her. I know he gives mixed signals, but I think somewhere in his head, he's like, I know that if I'm not 110%.
Absolutely. I know that he knows within himself what the vibe is. I think he knows the minute he says it out loud, especially to Ciara, that kills anything that he wants to gain from her. But we've moved just one step forward from being silent to everyone to telling some niche outer people about this. It's not like he's telling Kyle, who is super close with Ciara. He's telling this to Ben all summer.
Yeah.
We need to be saying this to Ciara. If you cannot fulfill the boyfriend duties that she wants, you need to say that to her, and your actions need to follow through with being respectful of that you guys are in misalignment. So if you can't handle just being friends, get the fuck out of her life.
Agreed. Yeah. But I do like Wes telling Ben, hey, man, I'm recognizing that, okay, he's like, it's moving quick for me.
You should expect more.
But your girlfriend's making it move even quicker, and I can't have this.
Totally respect him being like, please stop shoving a relationship down both of our throats. Let us handle this naturally, too.
Truly. Okay, so it's 9:52 p.m. Amanda tells Carl that her one dream, all she wants, is to jump in the pool. That's all she wants with everyone.
I could tell based on this comment that they probably thought they weren't ever coming back to the summer house. It felt like they were really trying to
it was very
close out
forced.
A chapter.
Yeah,
and just we used to do this all the time. We got to go out like we used to.
I know. Yeah, this is where I was like, ugh.
The vibes were
Things will never be the
this
same.
episode.
That's why I think she was Katie Holmesing him. She already, and one of my friends pointed out, remember that weekend she stayed back?
Mm-hmm.
She might have been meeting with her dad and her mom and being like, how do we
looking
make
at apartments?
How do we save our assets? You know what I mean?
You're not wrong. Even just getting a new apartment, it's like, let's game plan without my husband around. Yeah, you're
Booking
not wrong.
a hotel she might need. I don't know. Okay, so Kyle asked Lindsay how the igloo chat went. He made the igloo for something, you know?
You know what? The 10 hours they spent on that, worth it.
And then Amanda walks like near and Kyle goes, hey, Amanda, can we just, and she goes, I'm being summoned by my friends. And I was like, damn, girl.
This is why she needed to just tell him, I don't want to talk until tomorrow. Like, he would stop trying to talk to you and having these moments with you if he knew you were uninterested.
Agreed. Also, like, damn, girl, you can't just be like, hang on, I'm so sorry.
Him in the eye.
That's not even like a normal thing to do. Like, if someone, even if it was like my parents or something being like, Alicia, and someone else was calling me, I'd be like, hang on 1 second, my friends are calling. I'd never be like, shh, I'm being summoned by my friends.
Yeah. I saw someone recently where I had to go do something, and then I saw someone, and I don't want to ignore them. I don't want to be rude. So you go, hey. And I was like, I have to walk away. I have to meet someone. Like, I'll see you in a minute. And so it's like, that's the vibe. If she's unwilling, she doesn't want to see him. So she's not going to do any of those polite niceties.
Ugh.
But she also just won't be upfront with him.
So she leaves, and Kyle tells Lindsay he just wants to talk to her. But Lindsay's like, maybe Amanda doesn't want to talk, and you can't force it. And Kyle just feels so sad because he ruined the last weekend of the summer. And honestly, what are they going to do? Have a chat about that? And then, like, how are they going to recover? And Kyle just feels like he gave Amanda everything she needed to walk out the door.
I'm glad he acknowledges that because, yes, you did. You played a massive part in this. I'm tired of the audience being like, poor Kyle now. No, Kyle fucked up a lot, especially this summer.
Kyle deserved to get divorced.
Correct.
Did he deserve to have his not yet legalized ex-wife hook up with one of his coworkers / friends?
No.
Maybe not. Yeah.
And also, even outside of the West stuff, Amanda played a part in this divorce too. And like,
Amanda deserved to serve divorce papers. Yeah.
I don't think that we acknowledged a lot of times that Amanda was making mistakes because Kyle's mistakes were bigger. And so we are more willing to villainize Kyle, rightfully so, but we really leaned into that, oh, poor Amanda mentality. But here we can see this entire summer now that we're watching it with rose-colored glasses off of like, Amanda's participating in this too. She's not looking to fight for this marriage. And so like, she's got to own her part of the demise of their marriage.
But also like, and I hate to do this, but you know, men should be better than dogs, but also like men are as stupid as dogs. It's kind of the thing where it's like, for 10 years, this has been their cycle, and Amanda never has held Kyle accountable. So, like, he's probably like, why now? Why now hold me? It just, they both suck.
She's not even holding him accountable, though. She won't talk to him.
She's just going to leave him. Yeah. Okay, so party's over. Everyone get out by Yvonne, who is Lindsay's best friend, talks to Carl in a bit. Carl says he had a lovely conversation that needed to be had. And Yvonne's like, great.
And also for all the people who are like, who the fuck are these people on In the City? Yvonne is one of them. They are actual long-term friends of these people, of our OG Summer House cast. So like, if you thought this moment was cute, that's why you should get excited about In the City. Okay, so Amanda, Mia, and Ciara talk, and Amanda does the grossest thing. She dips a chicken wing into blue cheese, sucks the blue cheese off the chicken wing, and then eats zero chicken. I think Ciara threw it in the grass, which she did. But why don't you just dip your finger into the blue cheese? Why don't you just dip your finger in the cheese? Why are we wasting the chicken wing? No one wanted the blue cheese because Ciara even said, I asked for ranch. This is unacceptable. Honestly, Amanda can just take the blue cheese and sip it like a cup. Yeah. Why waste the wing? I was so annoyed by that. I would be pissed. No, I would literally yell at whoever did that. I don't care if you're my grandma. Like, let me tell you, the way they were so nice to her after she did that, they were just like, that was disgusting. I would have punched her in the face and been like, I could have ate that wing. Get up. Get out of my eyesight. How dare you waste a wing like that? And you waste food like that? I don't think so. That's a crime. And it was a flat. That's my favorite style of wing, too. No, she fucked up. She fucked up. You took none of it?
take that blue cheese and throw it in her face. Get it all over her and be like,
Throw
you want
it
the
in
blue
her
cheese
face.
so bad?
Yep.
Okay, but Amanda, like, when everyone's like, that's disgusting, Amanda's like, I'm just being silly because, sorry, I hate when people say silly.
Me
like
too.
That.
She's like infantilizing herself here.
I hate when people say I'm being silly. Like, if I'm like, that's something silly.
To
like, what the fuck? But like,
weird-ass behavior, too.
I'm just being silly. But she doesn't want to acknowledge the situation with Kyle. But she's grateful to have both Ciara and me as friends. Oh, let's just say this conversation, we're going to take the knife and stick it in our heart and twist it a little, okay?
Give us another reason, Amanda, of why you're a shitty person.
Yeah. We're also going to, we're going to have the 3 girls, and then there's also a conversation happening at the same time with Kyle, Ben, and Sabrina. And Kyle's just sad because he can't talk to his wife. But then back to girls chat, Amanda says that, you know, Mia and Ciara say what Amanda thinks, and they never say anything that she doesn't feel. And they're like, great, we just want you to be happy. And Amanda just says she fears she'll never be good enough for anyone else. And they tell her that's not true, and Ciara's like, that's a confidence thing. Like, we have to work on your confidence. And Amanda says, that's not your job. She's really, like, Debbie Downering a lot.
Yes.
Of, like,
and also
I'm
they're like,
victim.
girlie, pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Let's handle this. Like, that's the vibe that they have in their own lives, it feels like, and especially about this situation. We're over it. Let's handle this.
She's like, it's not your job to work on my confidence with me.
Poor
and
me.
Ciara and Mia are both like, but we're your friends. And Amanda's like, I'm tired of my friends consoling me. And this is where Ciara goes, respectfully, shut up. Ciara says like, hey, if you don't want to, we're not going to handle you with kid gloves. Because if this was Mia, I would have been at her house, her stuff would have been packed, and we would have been gone.
This is
Ciara
exactly how I am as a friend. I had somebody
same.
complaining about a relationship, and I can listen. I can be supportive. I can hear you, but I hit a limit, and it's probably at like 4 to 5 months of you complaining nonstop. I could never be around for the 5 years that Ciara's been around this marriage.
No, same. Like, I will listen, but if it's a constant thing,
With
I go,
no trying to change it.
How do we get out of here? How do we do this then?
The worst part is the person I had to cut off is they were like, I'm leaving him, I'm moving out. And I said, great, I'll literally show up and I'll pack the boxes with you. Like, I'm in. Let's do something about this. 12 hours later, complete 180. I said, nope, I'm out. I'm done. Don't speak to me about this relationship ever again.
The worst is when you talk really shitty about like someone's partner and then because they broke up and then they get back with them and you're like,
not my problem.
Didn't even like this partner. Yeah. Oh my God.
Not my problem. You can keep dealing with that. I won't.
But that's me, especially if it's my best. I'm going to be like, look, this is terrible. I'm not letting you, even if you decide you want to stay, I'm not letting you. This is stupid.
Because like this does affect my life. So I get a say in this.
Yeah, I could be eating my wings with blue cheese, but instead you're being silly, wasting my wings, and now I have to listen to you fucking cry.
Yeah, what a double whammy this experience was. And
I could be laughing
in a baby voice.
Yeah, what the fuck are we doing here? You and I would saw this.
I would literally side-eye someone like, what are we? No, you're ruining my life.
I would look at you and be like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
I would look, you're right. I would look for an exit strategy of getting out of this conversation.
I'm gonna throw up. I have to go. It's the blue cheese really hitting me.
It's watching you suck that blue cheese off that wing. I gotta go.
Okay, but Ciara tells Amanda, if you want to go, tell me, and I'll take care of everything, which that's a good fucking friend.
Yes.
And Amanda says that's what she needs to hear. She doesn't need to be handled like a baby. And I was like, okay, but you're hearing it? Are we gonna do it? I could hear things all day, girl. I'm hearing you bitch for 10 years.
She's not actually. She wants to be the baby. She wants to be the victim. Like, that is
she
how
wants to be taken care of.
Yes, and moves in these situations. But because Ciara's in bad bitch mode, she mirrors that back to her. She always does this with Ciara. Whatever Ciara says, she's like, you're right, and I'm gonna, and she talks a big game, but does zero shit.
She doesn't say, I'm gonna. She just says, I like what you're saying. Period. I'd be like, so what are we?
Me with kid gloves.
Okay, so what are we gonna? There's never any action. It's just like she hears Ciara and she goes thumbs up, and then never respond. Like there's nothing.
But then when she talks to Kyle, she's a completely different person.
She's like, you know what? I am gonna leave, and he's like, where did this come from? But Ciara says also, we aren't gonna cry about it and do nothing. You're in charge of your own life. You have to stop letting life happen to you.
Yep.
And she says, you have to let Kyle know you're serious. If he treats you one way, you have to leave him. Like, if he says, fuck you, you have to then say, that's not okay. Which she hasn't done for 10 years.
Yeah. Or agree that you're co-signing this behavior at a certain point.
Yeah. And Ciara says, look, you're still young. If you want to divorce Kyle and date someone else, you can. She didn't mean her ex, but you know.
In the general sense, Amanda's at the perfect point to divorce Kyle. She is financially stable. She has a job and has an income. She has a well-off family. She's young enough that if she's still wants to get married, have kids, she can. Like, her friends would take her side in this divorce. Like, make it happen. Here's the time. Your window's closing, though, on some of that stuff. Like, if you want a family and kids, your window will close at some point.
She also probably had a lot of the Bravo fan base behind her.
Yeah. Yes, especially knowing how this season was filmed. I mean, in January, everybody said it. When they put their statement out, everybody was like, she's going to get the Ariana treatment. Yep. So many brand deals, so many career opportunities. She had the whole world in front of her.
Fucked it up. Anyway, Kyle he didn't get to talk to Amanda, and he is sad. And Sabrina, with all of her amazing relationship advice, she says, go get your girl. It doesn't matter what she's doing. That's your girl. Sometimes women like to be fought for. And I went, no, because if I'm busy, don't come near me. And also, I'm not your girl. How about, like, I'm my own person, and if I want to speak to you, I'll let you know.
The one thing I do think, though, is Kyle has approached her very timidly every time.
So
if you want to talk, you need to go in there with some authority and be like, Amanda, we need to talk.
Agreed. Sabrina's like, be her knight in shining armor. And I'm like, no, this is her dragon.
You do not know what this man has done in the last 48 hours. How about you just don't speak on it,
Sabrina
girlie?
Doesn't know what he's done in the last 10 years. She just got here.
Yeah, well,
anyway.
Ben seems to gab a lot. So maybe she was able to binge the entire show in the 2 weeks since she's met them.
She does seem like a fangirl, which we talked about. So during girls chat, we go back. Mia tells Amanda to put her big girl panties on, like this is enough. And then Kyle does approach, and he stands there as Ciara's saying, like, you guys should separate. And he just stands there. I don't know if he hears. I don't think he hears anything. But he's just like, he goes, just wanted to say hi.
That is not the way you approach this, Kyle. Get a fucking grip, you loser. Hey.
Hey. Are you there? It's me.
He's like, hey.
Oh my God. And then they're like, okay, let's jump in the pool. And Kyle's like, wait, okay.
No, this was so embarrassing. Kyle, if you want to talk and you need to make that happen, make it fucking happen. I'm so tired of both of these losers being like, my marriage, it's gone to shit. What can I do about it? What do you mean, what can you do about it? You handle it.
He is such a loser, dude. Like, this is terrible. God.
I don't care what the issue is. If someone comes over to me, hey, no, I'm not talking to you like that. No.
So then Amanda's like, look, Kyle, it's my dream to jump into the pool. We'll talk tomorrow. And Kyle cuts his confessional. He's crying. It's been 10 years. He feels the severity of his actions have really thrown a wrench into things and can lead them to not coming back as a couple. And I was like, consequences to actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this really gave the divorce came out of nowhere vibe. As I was like, my God, you're sobbing in your confessional right now? How about you go watch the last 10 seasons?
He thinks he got divorced because he said fuck you to Amanda one time.
Yeah. He 100% thinks this season and how he acted in his DJ career are the reason that he no longer has a wife.
Mm-hmm. So we do a pool jump with really sad music.
Okay, I will say this was there was kind of a cloud over this entire episode. The vibes were very somber.
We're low.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know what the final cut would have looked like if not for this scandal.
I think it still would have been like this.
Do you, as sad? Because, yes, I think the Kyle and Amanda divorce would have happened, obviously, and, that would have been sad, but I don't know if it would have been, because there's also, this overpending thing of, not only is there a relationship ending, there's, tons of friendships ending with this.
So, because none of that is actually baked into this episode. There were no weird vibes between Amanda and West at this point, like this ending of this part. It's that, because I posted this scene on our socials, and a lot of people commented on it and said, you know, it's very sad because you've got in the city filming, it's greenlit already. A lot of people probably felt like the OGs aren't coming back to Summer House. This is, you know, Carl, Kyle, Lindsay, Amanda's potentially last party in the house. That's why she was so gung-ho about jumping in the pool like they used to. And then there's a theory, I'm not so sold on this, that we know the Summer House is up for sale, that maybe that the production crew got a heads up from the owners that they, you know, were interested in selling it after this summer. And so that at least that they knew that this was maybe their last summer in the house. So with both of those coupled together, I think this still would have been somber. And then you have the divorce of Amanda and Kyle.
Okay, you're right.
It's already there without the big scandal.
I did forget about In the City. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so we jump in the pool. A lot of memories. It's been weighing on Kyle. He doesn't want what they have to disappear. Great. Let's get ready to go out. So it's 11:04 p.m. We're getting ready. We want to look hot. Ben and Sabrina keep telling each other that they love each other. Once you say it, it's like a floodgate, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Yvonne is sleeping over. Her and Lindsay are not going out. But she says to Lindsay, she goes, so this is where you and Carl had your last sleep. That's hilarious.
It's amazing. And the fact that Carl is just in the room below them. Like,
that's awesome.
Incredible. This is what I love about this show.
And then Bailey and Levi are also not going out. But at 12:18 a.m., cabs are here. We're out at 2:06 a.m. Everyone's home except Jesse and Kyle. And everyone really goes to bed except Ben, Sabrina, Ciara, and West. Oh no, Sabrina got another double date on the books. So
that's the thing. I'm like, how does she do her little witchy vibe? She clearly stopped doing them because West went after Amanda. Like, what alternate spell did she put on these two?
Well, I think if you force something in the universe, it explodes and just sends it the other way.
You're so right.
And I think Sabrina was forcing the universe too much and it broke. And then it ricocheted West right into Amanda's arms.
It opened a black hole and an alternate universe came in. Just like my theory had been aliens. I didn't think about a black hole in the space-time continuum.
All because of Sabrina.
With another universe.
All because she wanted a couple. She wanted a couple friends.
Now we know who to blame.
Oh my God. Okay. So that...
Poor girl, actually.
It's not her fault. It's not her fault.
Blaming her for this whole scandal.
It's not her fault.
But I like don't know.
I just don't know how she does it, you know?
I know.
Like, it's crazy. So it's 4:58 a.m. Everyone's asleep except this outdoor crew. And outside, like, Sabrina and Ben are on one little outside couch. And then Ciara and West are on the other. And Ciara and West are, like, cuddling, nudging into each other. And then they kiss, which I was like, this was in front of Ben and Sabrina?
That is exactly
and they didn't
what
react.
I said.
They didn't react at first. I would have been like...
No, I'm going to need a whole play-by-play on this scene in an after show where Ciara's watching it, Wes is watching it. Even give me Ben and Sabrina, because what the fuck was going on? We didn't really hear audio of them talking. So to me, it feels like this kiss came out of nowhere. And to know that Ben and Sabrina were there the whole time is so weird.
It makes it weirder. And then, like, I was trying to watch Ben and Sabrina's heads because we're getting the back of their heads. And they don't seem to be, like, shocked. Like, they don't really move. And I do know there's a camera angle that we can see Sabrina and Ben's faces. So give me that. Because I would have been like, huh?
How did this come out of nowhere? This really was out of left field compared to what I thought it would be when we got this in the trailer.
I thought it was going to be... I thought it was going to be like an I miss you too kiss.
Yeah, or like, yes. Like similar to their conversation when they sat down and decided to be friends again. Like that type of sentiment and them like bringing up their emotions of I miss you. Like it's hard to not be friends with you. We have such a good time together. And then they lean in.
This could have been truth or dare for all we know. Hey, I dare you two to kiss. Okay. Like, we just don't know. It was crazy.
I don't like this.
Crazy. So now it is Monday, September 1st, 5:05 a.m. There's a bonfire outside. There's kissing. And then at 5:27 a.m., Kyle and Jesse make it home, which, where the fuck were you guys? And they find the crew outside, and Jesse is us. He is shocked.
Yes,
he's like, excuse?
Now, West is sitting on that couch, and Ciara's like in his legs. Like, they are really snuggling.
Yep. So it's time for bed, thank God. Kyle finds Amanda in the kitchen because she also got back at 2:06 a.m. So she hasn't been asleep for that long. It's only 3 hours later. And it looked like she was just getting water. But he finds Amanda, and he looks at her and goes, I found chips. And she goes, great.
That means trying to break the ice in any way possible. And I understand that.
That would have gotten me. That would have been, like, incredible.
This is how you know that they truly hate each other. Like, Amanda is so committed to hating Kyle, and rightfully so. But 100%. She will not have any fun with Kyle.
No. And then he also says, he's like, I'm happy you're awake because I didn't want to wake you up. See, he's like,
hey, great news.
Remember how you're always mad when I get home at 6 a.m. and I wake you up? I'm glad.
You can't be mad this time.
This time when I got home at 6 a.m., you're already awake. And she goes, yep, and just walks away. She ignores him completely.
I get that one because it's like, why? I'm not going to sit here and praise you for that.
Also, what? You're still coming home at 6 a.m. Excuse me?
Yeah. That's where he does not understand the problems.
So Ciara is in Wes and Jesse's room, and the lights go off. Jesse's in bed, and Wes and Ciara are just hugging, and then he, like, slowly inches her towards his bed, and they fall, and then Ciara's like, okay, goodbye, and she gets up to leave, and then Wes stops her right at the open door and hugs her, and they kiss again, and Jesse Solomon is in shock in his bed.
Jaw on the ground.
He reacts how you should react, where he's, huh?
Yeah.
And then I love that the editors did a great job this episode. It cuts to his confessional and he goes, honestly, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Me neither.
Like,
I understand a drunk kiss. I totally understand how it can happen. And I really wouldn't roast West alive. If they had just had, like, a pack alone, it happened, they were, like, having
Sabrina
a good time.
put a spell on them. Just kidding. It's like, a bit, though.
That was such a choice to kiss her outside in front of other people, canoodle with her the rest of the night until Jesse and Kyle came home, to then hug her for so long in your room, try to get her to stay in your bed, kiss her again. Like, this is a lot of building where at some point you should say, oh, man, things got out of control. I went too far. But he never does that because he would have to prioritize her needs and wants over his in-the-moment desires.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Eat him up, Meredith. Eat him up.
He pisses me off. It's not even a formidable opponent because he's going to sit there mute the entire fucking reunion.
Eat him up, yeah. So Ciara leaves and Jesse's hype. But he's like, what the fuck is happening? And then Kyle does get into bed at 6 a.m. with Amanda. So it's now 9:03 a.m. The huge ice luge sculpture finally falls, waking up Kyle.
The shit out of me.
Yeah, woke up Kyle. I get it. Ben and Sabrina still saying I love you. It wasn't just a dream. And then
I'm so happy for her.
Bailey and Levi cuddled last night. That was cute. So it's now 10:24 a.m. Kyle tries to hug Amanda multiple times in bed, and she says no.
He does not know how to fucking approach her. Like, Kyle, you pissed me off.
And Kyle's like, I tried to talk to you multiple times yesterday. And Amanda's like, yeah, but yesterday you didn't apologize or acknowledge everything. I was like, oh, girl, I don't know how to help either of you, honestly.
No. Let's be honest. I'm sure multiple times in their relationship, they just sweep everything under the rug and go out and socialize with people. And so, to be honest, the standard in their relationship is Kyle can do this stuff. Mm-hmm. I think he's very confused.
So, Ciara tells Mia she was up till 6 a.m. And Mia's like, 6 a.m.? What the fuck were you doing? And Ciara's like, oh, I was with West. We might have kissed. And Mia just,
like, girl.
And then Jesse and West talk, and Jesse's like, I was shocked. He says shocked-toted. I don't know, but he's shocked. He used a lot of weird words in this, but he is shocked that Wes and Ciara kissed. And he's like, did you guys have a conversation? And Wes is like, we have had all of 0 conversations. And Jesse's like,
bad idea.
Okay. Mia and Jesse need a support group. These two are
really
like, this is a lot. So then cut back to Mia and Ciara says, like, there does need to be a conversation or else we'll end up in the same boat as last time. And then we cut to Jesse and Wes, and Jesse's like, hey, Wes, you cannot hang out with Ciara, like, after this unless you're 110% in. Like, you can't lead her on. And we cut back to Mia and Ciara. And Mia's like, girl, I remember what it was like when you guys broke up. You were a shell of yourself. And Ciara's like, I fucking get it, girl. I know.
I'm so scared because I do genuinely believe that both of them want to be friends and enjoy having some type of relationship.
Agreed.
But I'm so worried that they are worried about breaking it that neither of them will call a spade and just like call out the issues and the differences. Because Ciara was so forward last time, he didn't listen to her. But I think she assumes that, hey, I was forward last time and what I want, he's going to listen to what I said 2 years ago. But he's not. He never took into consideration 2 years ago. So why would he all of a sudden be like, you know what, I'm going to be the most considerate person and I will be your boyfriend. I will commit so hard to you. He's not. A leopard doesn't change its spots.
Yep.
Like, this is only going to lead it to heartbreak. Even if the Amanda thing hadn't happened, the fact that they will not speak and they're both know what's going to happen here. And neither of them, Wes is just willing to let it happen.
And that shows Wes doesn't really care about his friendship with Ciara, and Ciara's just scared to break the friendship.
Yeah.
But, like, someone's going to get hurt.
This isn't a friendship. This is now a situationship. You guys have kissed.
Yes. And feelings have been involved. So, like,
we already know you guys have feelings for each other. It's just so awkward. And I can kind of see how, not that this is right, how Wes thought it'd be no big deal for him to hook up with Amanda because he was able to just fuck around all fall with Ciara anyways. What is one more thing where they just don't talk about it?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I want to die.
I see how he's so delusional because look at how he's treating their friendship without another party involved.
He's not even that hot. He's medium ugly, which is what makes him my type.
No, seeing his photo from season 8, I'm like, we thought he was cute. It's just
it's his vibes are so good.
Yeah.
I hate it. Anyway, Ciara says rarely she has made the same mistake twice, but she hears Mia, and Mia's like, I hate that I got along with West. I really didn't want to like him. But she says it. She says he's cool, funny, charming. She just hates what he did. And I was like,
that is exactly how the audience
is.
It's like, it's so easy to be sucked back in. And I'm glad it's not just like an editing thing or, you know, being on a show, him being, you know, popular, kind of like a celebrity. It's like, that's who he is. It is an accurate representation of who he is. He is the fun guy and he just sucks you in.
Hate it. Anyway.
Me too.
They see Wes outside. Ciara and Wes have like an awkward hello. And if anything, I'd be like, we need to talk. This is proof that now we don't know how to say hi to each other.
No, I think that they thought this was fun. Like, she literally got out of bed so she could like talk to him because she knows he swims every morning.
Yeah.
In the summer house. Like, she knew it was him.
I know, but like, it was not like a fun hello.
But
it
like,
was
they
awkward to watch.
Normally talk in the morning. So she's like seeking him out. She's in. And that's scary.
Ooh. Yeah, because then when she goes back in the room, she's like giggling, and Mia's like, not you smitten already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's 11:44 a.m. We got a broken door. The door broken. I love that. I screamed, hello.
Finally.
Yes. I love
we're
that.
Back, baby.
Yay. Breakfast is here. We do the last brunch in the living room. Lindsay gives a little speech. She says she had a great summer with everyone here. Loved the new people. Loved hanging out with old friends. New relationships. We have KJ and Dara. Ben and Sabrina. Wes and Ciara. LOL.
That call out.
Fair, girl. I hear you two are kissing around the house.
I agree, but this should show to Ciara and Wes, like, clearly, like, we're not hiding this. This isn't just like a drunk makeout. Like, this is more. People are calling it a relationship, Wes.
People are getting the wrong idea.
That should be the alarm bell that Wes needs to be like, oh, I need to pull back. I don't want to be in a relationship. I shouldn't be giving off the impression that I am in a relationship.
Yeah. If Lindsay's getting the wrong impression, that means Ciara probably is too. You know what I mean? Carl and Lindsay had a great talk last night and everyone cheers. And then Carl says, can we do a big group hug? And Lindsay's like, he loves hugs.
The fucking hugs.
He loves hugs. And so then they do a chant, family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family.
That was a dagger to the heart.
Ugh, so now it's time to pack. Bailey says even though she was unlucky in love this summer, she made great friends, and she has sweet Carl who restored her faith in men. Which honestly, okay, yes, Carl has restored our faith in men. And this does show that it takes a long time for men to get better. It does.
And they should get sober.
It took Carl a lot of years.
Yeah.
Because if Bailey had known him for the first 5 years he was on Summer House, he was a mess. He was an absolute mess. Yeah. And it still took him longer because then he got in a relationship and that didn't work. And he was a mess. Like, it takes time.
I know. I think through all of his mistakes, he has learned a lot, thankfully. But the problem is he didn't start learning from his mistakes until like season 5, 6, 7, 8.
There.
And that's a tricky one. Is a lot of guys like are unwilling because that you would have to acknowledge that you messed up and you hurt people in order to learn from your mistakes. And I think Carl, through his sobriety, already had to go through, the 10 steps and had to make amends with people, that it is easier for him to realize that he fucked up with and without alcohol.
Well, once it's easier, if you recognize one mistake, right? He's an alcoholic. He can then focus on other mistakes. Mm-hmm. But like Kyle's been here for 10 years. He hasn't acknowledged any mistakes. Wes definitely isn't going to acknowledge these mistakes again. He's been here for 3 years.
And actually like the hurt, because it's easy to be like, okay, yeah, I fucked up last night. I said fuck you in your face. Okay, whatever. But like, to really sit with it and want to do different the next time is the key 100%.
Part. And this is why, yes, Carl has changed your faith or like restored your faith in men.
You know what?
But,
I'm in.
But just remember, for every one Carl, there's 4 shitty men in the house with you. Okay?
So true.
So just be careful. Kyle's packing his shit up, and him and Amanda still have not talked. Wes is leaving. He's very emotional, and Ciara's also very emotional, and everyone's hugging and crying. Lindsay's hugging Ciara. Wes is hugging Amanda. The internet is abuzz.
Yeah. What do you think about this?
They think Amanda and Wes got caught. I don't know.
I don't feel like that, because the thing is like Amanda's crying, and like if you walk up to someone crying because they're sad about like leaving this place and you're gonna hug them anyways, you're gonna hug them a little tighter and be like, I'll see you in the city, like I think Jesse could have been swapped for Wes Place and it would have gone the exact same way.
I think it's the way Wes like almost like jumps and turns around, but I think it's because like it's Ciara and he knows he has to have a conversation with her, that he's like...
Also, Ciara is sobbing as well. So if you hear someone walk up to you sobbing as you're hugging someone else sobbing, you're like, oh, what's going on with this person now too?
Yeah, I do think at this point, Amanda has feelings for Wes. I think Wes, whether he has feelings or not for Amanda, it doesn't matter because she's a married woman, so he's not acknowledging that.
Inappropriate boundaries with people. Or
with
inappropriate
everyone.
Interactions with people. He
with
doesn't
everyone,
realize it's too far. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he's sitting, like, I don't think in this moment he's like, oh, I like Amanda. She's off, she's off limits.
No. Yeah.
But I think Amanda might be like, oh, I really like Wes.
I feel very comforted by a Wes hug.
With Wes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, but then Amanda and Ciara cry and they hug. Oh, take the knife, stick it in our heart and twist it. They say they love each other. Ciara tells Amanda that she's proud of her, and Amanda is special and beautiful and important, and her voice matters, and she's Team Amanda. And Amanda says she has very good friends, and Ciara reminds her of that every day. Man, it doesn't look good for Amanda.
Well, I'm like, okay, so what day did that end? That's what I want to know from Amanda. When did it change that Ciara is no longer a good enough friend that you actually care about what you did to her?
Here's my thing, right? The reunion has already been filmed. It's been filmed. If we had seen this scene, I would have submitted a question that's like, Amanda, how are you going to sit here and say that shit and then do what you did? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I believe that question was submitted because there have been like 17 moments this summer.
That's true. But I want to be like, this exact moment, y'all are crying because y'all love each other so much. And you still said, you know what's fine for me to do? And from what we hear, doesn't sound like you're that sorry from those leaks. So
that, even the trailers, even the leaked, from the NBCU upfronts, the I don't know, I don't want to call it a leak, but the little teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get the vibe. I am gonna be sat, ready for
Same.
how the fuck this happened.
I need that
there
conversation.
Is no answer, but I'm looking forward to what they choose to say.
I need that conversation you had when you said this is a good thing to move forward with.
Who admitted they had feelings first?
I just need to be a fly on the wall in that conversation. If someone's ever like, we could take you to any place, any moment in time, I'm going to say that. I just have to know that conversation.
Oh my God, yeah. Who would you want to have dinner with? Amanda and Wes, when they first decided they had feelings for each other.
Can I just be invisible? Yeah. And I'm just there. Like, we're time traveling. We can't fuck up the timeline. I have to be invisible.
You're right.
But just get me inside. I'm sat. I won't make a noise.
We might need to talk to Sabrina. She's a witch. She knows.
She might be able to do it. She might be able to send me back in time.
I will take back every bad thing I've ever said about you, Sabrina, if you can take me on the journey.
Anyone know if she's on Etsy? We'll pay.
Listen. We're going to crowdfund this. We'll live stream it so people here in present time can see it.
The bit eats. It's a good bit. It's Sabrina.
She's a witch.
Anyway, so it's a very sad day vibe. Kyle's crying in his room. Lindsay finds him, gives him a hug. Everyone's crying. Wes and Ciara hug goodbye, and they say they love each other. Mia gives Wes a hug and says, take care of my girl. I'll kill you if you don't. So it looks like Wes is going to die.
Wes, yeah. How do you not take all of these moments and say, this is a red flag? I should stop doing what I'm doing.
The best part is Paige already threatened death upon him, and then she looked at him and said, I'm not going to kill you because I'm scared of jail. But just know, like, you'd be so lucky to be with my friend.
And he said, I don't give a fuck, twice.
Yeah, he actually didn't say anything.
He went...
Moment of silence for Wes, which is easy for him. Okay, so then we get Carl and Lindsay. They fist bump goodbye. Have a safe...
I like their awkward friendship. I need
They're
that.
They're so good. And then it's just Kyle and Amanda left. They've both been crying. Kyle, my man, looks awful. He looks rough. And Amanda's like, hey, can we talk? And they go outside to the front porch to talk when there's couches and stuff. But I think it's more the aesthetic of, like, we need the shot of you sitting on the front porch.
I agree. I think production,
said, can you do it here?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kyle says he feels sick to his stomach. He's like, we had the chat with Ciara about, like, taking time apart, and that's been really weighing on me, and it got the best of me. And Amanda's like, listen, Ciara brought it up to me too, but I have no intentions of doing that because, like, things are good right now. And I went, what? In what world?
One, that is not what you said to Ciara. That is not the conversation you guys had. And two, that is not how you feel presently.
The way Softbar went, what? Like, the whole place was like, huh?
I don't get it because... Listen, I understand confrontation is hard, saying your feelings, ending a marriage is hard. But how can you not even give him an inkling of what you were actually thinking, feeling?
I mean, this is filmed, so he'll find out. But
yeah,
I think she was Katie Holmes. She just needed him to stay put a little bit longer.
Get it, but, like, why do you have to throw him so far off the scent? Saying we're good? He just screamed at his best friend. You don't even have to blame it on your issues. You can just be like, I don't like the person you are right now. We're not
Hello? Good. She's been ignoring him all night. And she's like, no, but we're good. You and me, we're solid.
I was like, girl.
You and me last night, we were in our beds.
We had so much fun.
Yeah, what are you talking about? So Amanda felt like things were moving in the right direction. But then the fuck you comment and the fight with Carl happened.
Be so fucking for real. You guys were not in a good place.
And that's the stuff that scares Amanda and pushes her back. And I was like, ah, yes, the summer of love they had ruined by one moment. You know what I mean?
It is giving Lindsay when she was like, I can't believe we broke up. Like, that is not what I thought was going to happen. It's like, what?
But the thing is, Amanda's just playing him. She's lying. Lindsay genuinely was, like, delusional.
It's as if Carl was the one who did all of that all summer and then was like, I can't believe we broke up.
Yeah. Yeah. No idea.
You caused, or you participated in all of this. You know what's going on. He's not bitching about you behind your back. You have been involved, and you also hate that man.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kyle says he let everyone down, and he had such high hopes for the summer. And Amanda says they've spent so much time together these past 10 years, especially their summers in the Hamptons. They've grown up here. They've gone through cheating rumors, actual infidelity, engagements, fake weddings, real weddings. It's been amazing, but it's been really hard. Do you have something to...
You just said your relationship's good, and you went through the most traumatic things that have ever happened in your relationship to be like, isn't this crazy? Like, you guys are not, you've never been good. What?
Isn't it crazy you cheated on me, but then we got married? You know what I mean?
Beautiful time
we made it.
Had.
We made it, and now we're not going to make it.
Because I'm going to a hotel.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Amanda says, yeah, she's leaving this weekend and she wants to close this chapter and start over, whatever that looks like for them. And Kyle is scared. Amanda says, me too. That's why something has to be different. And that's when she says, I'm going to a hotel for a couple nights because something's fundamentally wrong in this relationship. Even though I just said we were good.
And I don't want to separate from you. I am going to separate from you.
Yeah. Kyle is speechless. Okay, he feels like he's put his heart and his soul into this. It's just crumbling. Well, he says everything he's put his heart and soul into is now crumbling, which has been his marriage and Loverboy. And both are
that
down
is
that train.
Brutal.
And then this was when my friend, who's a big Kyle fan, she was like, bring Loverboy back. And I was like,
the fans have got it out of bankruptcy.
Wow, good for I personally. Yeah. Oh, there was Loverboy at Soft Bar. It
was in there by the time it opened to the public.
Yeah, just so everyone knows.
That's what's annoying. Yeah.
Loverboy is there for sure. Amanda says that she wants to be there for Kyle and support and protect him. And she wants to be with him. But like right now she's got to look out for herself. And she just needs some space. And she'll meet him at therapy on Wednesday.
Okay, I actually thought this was a great idea. Because it is currently Monday. So Monday night, Tuesday night, she's going to stay in a hotel. We will regroup at therapy together. I like that they have a moment where it's like, this isn't forever. This is 2 nights. I will see you in 48 hours. I think this is the best decision that they've made. I just wish she was honest with him at the start of this conversation and not putting it on Ciara, thinking Ciara's the only one who is recommending separation when Amanda wanted it too, because I pulled the receipts.
Agreed. Kyle says it's not all right, but he feels like he's going to throw up. But yeah, he just never thought he'd be driving out of here alone. And they hug and they cry and then they leave in different cars.
Which I thought this was interesting because to be honest, if I've been with you for 10 years, even if I do want to go stay at a hotel tonight, we might as well just drive back together. Like, well, they do have like a friendship and like, I didn't really get the driving back separately.
What was the funniest part was they were having this whole conversation and one of my friends was like, are they going to drive back awkwardly together now? And I was like, she doesn't talk to him anyway in the car. They might as well just save on gas.
But because we have, if the spinoff hadn't happened, I think they would have just driven home together. Because
this is the spinoff.
For the intro to the new show, we needed the separate cars.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, do you want to do fun, not fun now, since technically Summer House is over?
Yeah,
okay.
I think we need to cut this off and then talk about what the beginning happened.
Yeah, so just so everyone knows, we did do the first 5 minutes and 43 seconds of in the city because it rolled really well and the people at Soft Bar didn't know when one started and the other ended, if you know what I mean. So I did watch this part and then I think it's relevant. And then I have not watched the rest. Okay,
and really quick, a reminder to people, we are going to cover In the City once the reunions are over. We just cannot do both at the same time. So I think it's 4 weeks delayed we will be. But come join us for that in 4 weeks. We will talk about this premiere episode.
You know what I didn't do? I didn't count everyone's funds, not funds. That's on me.
We can talk about it at the reunion.
We could do it at the reunion because we have In the City to deal with, okay?
Yes.
But it's even numbers, not fun. That's me. I'm going to go with, where to start? Amanda. She's really not fun. When Kyle said, look, I found chips, and she just ignored him. That would have gotten me. I know. Who's your not fun?
I'm going West. While I'm very hyped that him and Ciara are starting things up, it is clear that he is not considering her once. He knows the issues there. And he is unwilling to care about who she is long term and what she wants for her life. And he wants to cross all those boundaries again.
Agreed. Okay, you know what? I'm going to give my fun to Jesse Solomon. You know why? He's the only one sitting here saying, have we had a conversation? And he was appropriately shocked when he saw them kiss because he was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
I agree with that.
Who's your fun?
I'm going Lindsay. That tough conversation with Carl gave me everything I wanted between them.
It was so good.
I didn't realize that I also needed closure.
I needed it.
It's been 2 years.
Did you see the tweet where it was like, Apology Dune has moved, or now we have Closure Igloo?
Yes, I did. Obsessed. Now I wish the reunion stage had been this final party and we had like
Closure Igloo.
Closure Igloo.
They do like squash the beef, but instead it's Closure Igloo and two people fighting have to go sit in the middle in this igloo.
Hear me out. They need to do that at BravoCon in 2 years.
There you go. Okay, so now we have the first few minutes of In the City. You know what? I need to shout out the girls that were sitting in front of me on the staircase at Soft Bar. They must be Bravo newbies because they were straight up like, when this intro happened, they were like, oh, I didn't know that they would do this. This is so crazy. And I was like, they just pulled a bunch of news articles and made a timeline. They did it with Scandival. They did it with Summer House at the beginning of this episode of this season. Or they did it with Lindsay and Carl. Like, they do it all the time.
And also, like, you didn't have to get them quickly. They could have found those screenshots last week. Like, not hard.
Literally. Okay, so Kyle and Amanda do their goodbye. They drive off from the Hamptons in separate cars. Kyle never saw his life like this. He might lose Amanda and everything that matters for him. The future looks lonely. We're back in New York City. Amanda can't imagine her life without Kyle, but she's not sure if she can fix this relationship. Something has to change as she walks into the hotel. And now, a timeline. January 2026, Kyle and Amanda break up. February 2026, Amanda on Watch What Happens Live with Ciara saying she will be the first of them to start dating. March of 2026, Kyle on Watch What Happens Live says there's no merit to these Wes and Amanda rumors. Ooh. Wes on Watch What Happens Live says him and Amanda are friends. It comes out that Wes and Amanda are together through a joint statement in March, and then April 9th, 2026, Amanda and Kyle are at their old apartment where Kyle still lives because they're doing a dog trade-off. Amanda looks super skinny, like real.
And that wouldn't have just happened in 9 days of them announcing it. Clearly, like, she's been under stress. She's been hiding a massive secret for months.
Mm-hmm. And Kyle's like, hey, I've been worried about you. Have you been eating? And she's like, what do you think? And then Kyle's like,
bitchy to him for like being concerned.
And then they go sit on the couch and he's like, oh, I got to sit. My back hurts. And she's like, you're 43. And he goes, I joined a new gym and we were doing deadlifts.
I can't with these two. I cried.
Can't. So it's time to chat. And Kyle and Amanda have kept in touch. And Kyle just wants to be there for Amanda. But looking back on the summer, it does seem like Amanda was pretty done with him, which is not what she told him, you know?
I'm glad he points that out. And he better point that out at the reunion, too.
Can I say, my friend, as Amanda had this conversation, goes, Amanda's the Emmy of Summer House. And it's the high pitch of like, you know what? This actually happened. It's that.
It's the way it's like, why isn't he allowed to confront you over how you acted all summer? That hurt him, and he's sharing that.
The voice that goes up 18 octaves as you cry. Ugh, I was like, I can't wait for Amanda to start hyperventilating at this point. But
it's going to happen at the reunion. She like walks off and is sobbing. So we're going to get it.
So Amanda says that it's so frustrating because Amanda gave this relationship her everything she had because she wanted it to work so badly. It was hard to call it quits. And she doesn't want to live without Kyle. That's because she doesn't have any other friends.
You can't have your cake and eat it too, babe. No.
So Kyle's like, sure, but I can point to instances where you were really out the door. And this is when Amanda's like, Kyle, I was done to a certain extent. She says she was tired and she had nothing left in her to fight, but she was trying to give it her all.
This is going to piss me off if In the City, at the reunion, also for Summer House, she cannot just own it. You like, I understand in the moment you don't really know how your feelings are, but you should have sorted this shit out in the off season of both of these shows and figured out what the fuck was going on, because I would respect her so much more if she sat there and said, you know what, I was out and I wasn't willing to admit it to myself. It's hard to close a 10-year marriage where we were filming a show. I didn't want to decide those things on camera, but you're right. I was giving you the cold shoulder.
Yeah. Well, Kyle asks Amanda if she can honestly say that even around Thanksgiving, was it an emotional affair? Which I was like, what happened on Thanksgiving? But
I know.
And Amanda says nothing happened and she was committed to Kyle, and it hurts that he would question her faithfulness because that's not the type of person she is, especially because she was cheated on by Kyle. And this was my favorite part. Kyle goes, I had a one-night stand. And Amanda goes, Kyle, you were making out with someone while we were married. And Kyle goes, says who? And Amanda goes, there's a video. To which Kyle just looks at her and goes, okay.
That okay was everything.
Okay.
It pisses me off that she is going to drag his cheating from 8 years ago up to defend her potential emotional affair at the end of their marriage.
Yep.
You chose to marry that man knowing he had cheated on you. You gotta let it go now.
But Amanda says she would never do that. But I think you could have an emotional affair, girl.
And also, it's a slippery slope. I understand how you don't intend to do it. You're getting closer. He's a friend of yours. You start crossing the line. You don't realize it. Then you realize you're over the line. And then that's when you decide to end your marriage. And you could say, I didn't realize I was getting myself in so deep, and I'm sorry. You're right.
So Kyle says he knows Amanda's not a bad person, but she was reckless and thoughtless. That's a really nice way to put it.
I was about to say, I think he does genuinely care about her. I've said this a few times. He's a terrible husband. He is a good friend to people.
He's a really good friend.
And so he is being such a great friend to her throughout this entire experience. But I like that he's holding her accountable for this stuff.
The reunion wasn't filmed till middle of April, right? Like April 15th?
Middle to end, yeah.
Okay,
probably
so this
2 or
was
3
right
weeks
before.
after this. Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. I think this was before the Yankees game, right? Because it was like the Yankees game happened and then the reunion.
I agree, because April 1st was a Wednesday. Their statement came out on the 30th. And about a week later is when she put out a statement saying, more apologies in a generic sense. I'm going to start living my life again. And then we saw them at that NYU bar. I forget what it's called, but it doesn't really matter, where she had, the scarf around her head. And then I think 3 days after that is when the Yankees game happened. So I don't think the Yankees game has happened yet.
Okay.
Because that's
I was
also
looking at the
something that
calendar.
I think Carl or Jesse on Watch What Happens Live said he's pretty ticked off about the Yankees game and is getting frustrated because now you're flaunting it.
Okay, but Kyle says he is trying to be a good friend to Amanda. He worries about her a lot. Amanda appreciates that, and Kyle says everything that's happened here forward is because he cares about Amanda, but he doesn't want to rekindle things. Just so she's clear.
I'm glad you said that.
Amanda says that she cares a lot about him, but she feels the same fucking way. And Kyle's just upset that someone else gets the version of Amanda that he fell in love with. And I was like,
that actually was so sad.
That hurt. That one hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great that they picked up cameras for this conversation, because In the City had been wrapped by this point.
And I think it makes more sense to do this right at the start. I think it's a smart business decision too, because you want people to watch In the City. Then they rewind it and they start back in September 2025. So I think it worked-ish. I did watch the full episode and you're going to love it. And can I tease one thing to you?
Yeah, of course.
Because it does matter in the Summer House world. And I want this to get people excited, any of our audience who is considering not watching it, that this is why you should watch it. In the first episode here, they talk about how Amanda did not pay any rent. Kyle paid everything for 3 years. So when they broke up, and then when the affair came out, Kyle hit her with a bill for back rent for 3 years. It was $110,000. She paid it immediately. She had $110,000 to pay her rent and never invested it in Softbar or try to help out with those finances of Loverboy, help Kyle invest in Softbar, which I feel is gross.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, she paid it right away.
Yeah.
Whoa. Good for Kyle sending her a bill. I did see the scene of them when Amanda's in a raincoat.
Oh my God.
She's like, I have to go. I'm sweating. And she's arguing. I was like, yeah, you're in a raincoat. She's like, it's not a raincoat.
Button to the top, too.
What is she hiding? Her hickeys?
Here,
Just kidding. I don't know
That's so
anything.
funny. Here's another thing is the vibes around Amanda, not good in this show. So the Amanda haters, like, you won't be annoyed. I think this is going to fuel your hatred for her, but she's not, like, getting a good edit.
Well, no. I think because of the scandal, they had time to kind of be like,
but even separate to that, I think her vibes in general were off. Like, she won't hang out with people. Like, she's being Amanda.
Well, here's the thing, right? When these scandals kind of happen, the women get angry, which is great. I support that. But it is kind of like how they're then received. Like, remember a lot of people were done with Ariana season 11?
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't help Amanda's case because she then did something super fucked up.
Yeah.
So now when she's actually being a bitch, we can't just be like, well, she's dealt with Kyle's dumbass for a long time.
Really
we
good
now
point.
can be like, well, she's a bitch, so who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and in her scenes, her best friend Katie is not involved. Katie is, I think, her only ally to help soften her and, like, have fun moments. She doesn't have Ciara. She doesn't have Mia. She doesn't have West and Jesse to, like, make
have her
fun.
have a fun side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I stand by In the City is the worst thing that could happen to Amanda after this this scandal. Like, that, the worst thing that could happen. And, like, R.I.P. girl. Because this
I'm
is,
excited
I think,
to watch
the end.
it. I'm very excited now.
Okay, I'm excited to watch it. $110, $1,000, shit. You just have that laying around and you didn't do anything with it?
I know. Yeah, you have that liquid. You could send a Venmo of $110,000.
Carl should be pissed. He's been your friend a long time too, girl.
That's what people are saying online is like, okay, fine. Like, Kyle should have invested, but why didn't Amanda?
And been like, on behalf of both of us. You know what I mean? Or like, damn.
Dude, I'd be pissed if my partner did not help with anything financial and then I'm stressing and spiraling and then she's laughing at me as I'm trying to save everything of ours financially and you just have $110,000 in the bank?
That you couldn't even put half towards rent?
That you owe. Ooh. Not even like to help me. Because listen, Loverboy is Kyle's business, so I understand her not bailing out that business. But our life that we're living together, you're not going to contribute? And she was making more money than him. Lindsay said on Watch What Happens Live, Amanda was making more money than Kyle.
Where?
Like influencing and stuff like that. We know Kyle wasn't taking a salary from Loverboy.
Oh, that's true. Damn. She was making more than his DJ career?
Seems like it.
Amanda, this is the worst thing that could have happened to you. This is the worst thing. You should just want to float into oblivion. You know what? Now is a good time to get the house in Jersey. Now is a great time to get the house in Jersey. I know your boyfriend won't follow you there because he's going to stay in New York and just continue to social climb.
He has to show the rest of these women the streets.
Yeah, girl, you should move to New Jersey and you should forget about Wes. I think that's the best thing you could do for yourself. Wes will continue to be trash. He will continue to be amongst the rats in this city, continue to give women STDs and broken hearts left, right, and center. And you know what? Unfortunately, he's never going to have the fall that you did because he has no shame.
Yeah.
He has zero shame.
He is Sandoval in the vibe.
But do not give him traitors. Because that's what he wants. He goes, it'll all be okay because Sandoval got traitors. And here's the thing. I think, though, if we're comparing Sandoval and Raquel, I don't mind Raquel. She could do whatever she wants.
Correct.
If she showed back up.
She went off in oblivion, and that is what Amanda should do. She can't yet because she already did film in the city, but she should just float off, you're right, into New Jersey, find a normie boyfriend, buy a house, go be a graphic designer.
Here's the other thing at West. You will never get the redemption that Sandoval ever did. Because one, you're not as weirdly likable as like you'd never say.
The quirks of TV aren't there.
And two, I had 10 years, 11 years with Sandoval, okay? I've only had 3 with you. I don't know you that well.
Good point.
I saw Tom Sandoval shave his forehead, okay? We're close. You and I, not that close. I see you on the street. See, if I saw Tom Sandoval, I'd be like, hey, man.
And
you
Tom
suck.
Sandoval had his like weird band. It already existed.
Yeah.
What does West have? His weird podcast? Like, we already were side-eyeing that
with that
before
MAGA
the scandal.
bitch? Yeah, what are we doing? You performative fucking asshole. Yeah. you both should float to oblivion, but I know one of you's not gonna, so
you're gonna hang on tighter.
That's why I asked, can we bully them into shame, or?
No, because if they really cared about public opinion, they never would have done this.
So true. Okay, well, I can't wait for In the City. I cannot wait. I'm salivating for the reunions. Do all the things I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, and with that, love ya.
Thanks for joining. Bye.